We are kicking off today with AEW Dynamite, as the main event saw Bryan Danielson take on the gigantic Satnam Singh for the first time, but despite a major size disadvantage, Danielson put up a great fight. The match unfortunately ended in a disqualification by Sanjay Dutt and Jeff Jarrett attacking the American Dragon, and this attack brought out the Young Bucks. The EVPs came down to hand over the money they'd promised to Dutt for taking out Danielson, but just as they were about to get their hands on Bryan, a car pulled outside the arena. In a shock moment, it was AEW President Tony Khan behind the wheel, and he drove Darby Allin to the arena after he'd been banned earlier in the night by the Bucks. Darby scared off his Double or Nothing opponents by lighting a flamethrower in his hand on the stage as he and Bryan stood tall ahead of their Anarchy in an Arena match. It was certainly a surprising end to the show, and Fightful Select reports that Allin's comeback was meticulously planned to prevent any spoilers from surfacing prematurely. Allin has admitted he isn't fully recovered from his injuries, but that has only built the anticipation for the chaos that'll surely ensue in the Anarchy in the Arena match. But what did you make of Allin's return with a flamethrower? Is he being too reckless by returning before he's fully healed? Let us know down in the comments. It was also quite the sight to see Tony Khan back on AEW TV, and taking to Twitter, Khan made clear that he does have a valid driver's license. It remains to be seen what role Khan will play, if any, at Double or Nothing, but the Elite may have bitten off more than they can chew. In spite of his torn triceps injury, CM Punk has remained a focus on WWE TV thanks in part to his promo skills, and now Punk will bring those skills back to the world of MMA. PW Insider reports that Punk is slated to return to his commentary duties for Cage Fury Fighting Championships at their upcoming event at Philadelphia's 2300 Arena. That venue is of course known to wrestling fans as the old ECW Arena, and is a location that Punk has competed in many times in the past. CM Punk has been a part of Cage Fury Fighting Championships since 2018, doing commentary for various events, but this will mark his first time commentating as a WWE superstar. Back in WWE, Punk has been feuding with Drew McIntyre, and don't be surprised if Punk has a word or two for the Scotsman during his role as CFFC commentator. It wasn't long ago that WWE's Twitch channel was taken over by whoever is behind the QR code mystery, resulting in a bizarre video that is seemingly teasing the return of Uncle Howdy. Now this mystery has infected WWE's WhatsApp, as well as a series of images continued to tease that something big is coming. One image bore the message, "Remember who you are," and the WhatsApp page also hinted that something big is coming today at 8 p.m. Eastern. It is believed that this is all leading to the return of Uncle Howdy, as played by Bo Dallas, who will be bringing in a faction that includes Nikki Cross, Eric Rowan, Dexter Lumis, and Joe Gacy. It's still unclear when we'll actually see Howdy and his faction, but hopefully we'll get the answers to this big question very soon. Since the defeat of Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40, Paul Heyman has been forced to fall in step with the new bloodline, but Heyman is doing much more than that in WWE. Heyman has maintained a low profile on Raw recently, given that the bloodline is on SmackDown, but backstage, he's been involved in coaching talent on various aspects. Ringside News reports that Heyman offers guidance on promos, body language, delivery, and script interpretation, and that he collaborates with writers to fine-tune what talent do on the show. Heyman is highly respected and approachable in WWE, which has helped him serve as a liaison between talent, Triple H, and the creative team. Heyman has been heavily involved with Damian Priest for the past 8 to 10 months, and it's reported that the world champion often discusses things with Heyman behind the scenes. One name fans want to see Heyman work with on TV is Bron Breakker, with many seeing him as the next big thing, and WWE did tease something with them during Bron's days in NXT. Heyman appeared in Bron's corner during the stacked October 10th NXT, and it's reported that Heyman has been working with Breakker, who Paul referenced in his Hall of Fame speech. Over on SmackDown, Heyman hasn't been just aligned with the Bloodline, but has also been working with Nia Jax to enhance her promo skills on the Blue brand. In the recent draft, several names were moved up to Monday Night Raw from NXT, and it's reported that those called up can seek his advice directly and benefit from his expertise. Heyman's involvement with the new generation of superstars is instrumental in honing their craft, and with Paul on board, these talents are being given the best chance to succeed. More from Dynamite, as Swerve Strickland was slated to face Nick Wayne of the Patriarchy, and after a back-and-forth affair, the AEW World Champion picked up the victory. Right after the match, however, he was attacked by Killswitch and Christian Cage, but Strickland tackled both men. The furious Strickland chased Cage down to the parking lot, where Christian stole a car, but his escape route was blocked by another vehicle being driven by Prince Nana. With nowhere to go, Cage was assaulted by Strickland on top of the car, and Swerve was set to strike the challenger's head with a chair, only for Christian to escape at the last minute. Swerve has the advantage right now, but things could be different at Double or Nothing. And what did you make of what happened in the parking lot between the champ and his challenger? At AEW Revolution, Stephen Borden Jr. joined his brother Garrett to honor their father Sting for what would be the Icon's final match, and it appears Jr. has caught the wrestling bug. Fightful reports that Borden has been staying with Darby Allin and is training to be a wrestler, despite not being interested in following in his father's footsteps prior to Revolution. Borden does come from a background in football, which will certainly help him in his journey, and we'll have to see how far he gets in his pursuit of the squared circle. In 2019, WWE introduced the talk show The Bump, which sees a panel review the past week of WWE and interview superstars, but fans won't be tuning into The Bump in the future. It's been confirmed that The Bump will be going on a 5-week hiatus as the show prepares to transition to the new WWE headquarters and will be back on July 3rd. In 2020, Roman Reigns' heel turn transformed him from what many found to be an unlikable babyface to one of the most popular characters around, as he did a 180 with his persona. As part of his transformation, Reigns was dubbed the head of the table as he asserts his dominance over the entire Anoa'i family, but one member disagrees with that moniker. Speaking to Muscle Man Malcolm, Zilla Fatu, the son of Umaga, spoke about Reigns' moniker and believes the tribal chief is crazy to bestow the head of the table honor upon himself. He said, "He's like one of those kids in the school where like the crazy one where they stand on top of the table screaming. Yeah, he's one of those, you know? Here, we're just looking at him like, okay, wait till it's our time, you know? But we all try to be the one, but me personally, I feel like I'm the main one." Zilla has made a name for himself already in Booker T's Reality of Wrestling promotion and recently said that he intends to follow his family's footsteps by one day being part of WWE. Zilla Fatu may indeed end up in WWE one day, but it'll be interesting to see where he stands, as he's clearly unwilling to acknowledge Roman Reigns as the head of the table. But what do you make of Zilla's comments? Do you hope to see him join WWE one day? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. At AEW Double or Nothing, Adam Copeland will put his TNT Championship on the line against Malakai Black in a barbed wire steel cage match with plenty of stakes. On the go-home Dynamite, Copeland played some mind games with Black, who, on the show, defeated Kyle O'Reilly in an action-packed match. The lights went red while he was celebrating his victory, and while everyone was confused, Copeland managed to give his opponent a bloodbath, getting in the head of his challenger. Copeland also warned Black to be careful for everything he wished for ahead of their match, and it's now the WWE Hall of Famer who has the psychological advantage. But what was your reaction when Malakai Black was given a bloodbath on AEW Dynamite? Let us know in the comments section below. In recent weeks, Chris Jericho and Hook have been engaged in a feud that has seen them tear each other apart whenever they face off, and now their feud has seen a new arrival thrown in. On AEW Dynamite, a 3-way elimination match took place to determine Jericho's next challenger for the FTW title, with Hook facing Katsuyori Shibata and Brian Keith. With Jericho on commentary, the FTW champion was obviously interested in the result, which will have taken him by surprise as both Hook and Shibata were announced as the winners. Jericho then took on the mic and announced a 3-way match for the title at Double or Nothing, despite such a match putting the champion at a distinct disadvantage. AEW should have waited to build this feud, but the company obviously had different plans, and time will tell if Jericho can retain in a match where he doesn't need to be pinned to lose the title. One name fans haven't seen in title action for a very long time is Miro, whose most recent match for AEW was at World's End, where he defeated Andrade and aligned with CJ Perry. Perry and Miro have since split up in real life, and while Miro was supposed to compete in the Meat Madness match at AEW Revolution, he was not cleared due to an injury. Fightful Select reports that while AEW had hoped Miro would be back in the spring, his injury is behind schedule, and now there's no clear timetable for his return. This injury is the latest setback for Miro in AEW, who despite a strong start as TNT champion, has spent much of his time under contract, out injured, or cleared to wrestle but not used. Miro has a loyal fan base who have wished to see him go further in AEW, much like they wanted to see in WWE, but for now, the future of the Bulgarian remains uncertain. It was last year that Melo gave birth to her and Sammy Guevara's first daughter Luna, and after quite some time out of the ring, the Brazilian star is working towards a comeback. Melo shared recently that she is excited to finally be getting back in the ring and is training for an in-ring return, but fans shouldn't expect to see her on Dynamite or Collision just yet. Fightful Select reports that there's no confirmed creative plans for her imminently, and we'll just have to wait and see when she's back on AEW programming. In women's tag team action on Dynamite, Toni Storm and Mariah May faced off against Saraya and Harley Cameron in the first match for Saraya since February of this year. It's no secret that Saraya and Storm were once allies, though their time in the Outcasts ended around the time that the Women's World Champion transitioned into her timeless persona. After a hard-fought match, Saraya and Cameron seemed to be gaining momentum until Storm and May kissed their opponents on the lips, which proved to be quite the distraction. With Saraya and Cameron momentarily taken off guard, Storm and May delivered their respective finishers on Saraya and Cameron, and May hit a Storm Zero on Harley for the victory. It was certainly a choice for AEW to have Saraya lose her first match back in 3 months, but perhaps not a surprise given that it's Storm who will be competing at Double or Nothing. As advertised, Jon Moxley was on this week's AEW Dynamite and was around to send a message to Konosuke Takeshita following the latter's victory over Matt Sydal. After beating the former WWE Tag Team Champion, Takeshita continued his assault, which led to Moxley coming out, and with a microphone in his hands, fans awaited a promo from the IWGP Champ. Instead, Moxley landed a straight-up punch on Takeshita before saying he'll see him at Double or Nothing, where Takeshita will face Moxley in a championship qualifier. Moxley's IWGP World Heavyweight title won't be on the line, but a win for Takeshita this weekend will go a long way in ensuring him a shot at the richest prize in New Japan. Well, what did you make of this segment, and who do you think will emerge victorious at Double or Nothing? Give your predictions down below in the comments section. More from Dynamite, and it was during the tag match pinning Toni Storm and Mariah May against Saraya and Harley Cameron that a huge announcement was made. During the match, Tony Schiavone on commentary revealed that he'd received a text from Tony Khan and announced a Casino Gauntlet match will take place on next week's Dynamite. This will feature some top names, and the winner will face the AEW World Champion with the gold on the line at Forbidden Door. It'll be interesting to see who earns the title shot, as the winner will go on to face Swerve Strickland or Christian Cage. And what are your thoughts on the match? Let us know below. The Bang Bang Gang came out during AEW Dynamite to take some shots at Pac before the latter arrived to confront them in what looked like it'd be a 3-on-1 assault. Fortunately, the rest of Death Triangle arrived to even the odds, and Pac would challenge the trio for a match at AEW Double or Nothing this weekend. That match was made official, and the AEW Trio's titles will be on the line, gold that Death Triangle hasn't held since January of last year. The Bang Bang Gang only recently won the titles and have no intention of losing the titles so soon. And are you excited for this upcoming match? Let us know in the comments below. The go-home episode of AEW Dynamite was clearly a stacked show, but it also had a dark match before the cameras started rolling in Bakersfield. In this match, Zack Knight, Saraya's brother, defeated Shea Cabrera, and we'll have to see if this win leads to a bigger spot for the British wrestler. And we're ending with more from Dynamite, which opened with a video package featuring clips from the Furiosa movie before Orange Cassidy and Will Ospreay came out to the ring. With Don Callis on commentary, Ospreay and OC took on Trent Beretta and Roderick Strong, and Callis indicated that Ospreay and Cassidy were allies of his. That may be true for Will, but Cassidy has yet to indicate he even knows of Callis, and as soon as the bell rang, OC hopped off the apron and went after Beretta. Ospreay and Strong traded shots in the ring to start what would be an energetic and chaotic match, with all 4 men putting in a lot of effort to make this a solid opening contest. The commentators did a great job addressing the storylines ahead of Double or Nothing and some of the past interactions between men who found themselves as partners. Wardlow took out Ospreay, paving the role for Strong to get the win on Cassidy, and Ospreay was left bloodied by the Undisputed Kingdom, while Beretta choked out Cassidy on the ramp. And that was this week's Dynamite. And what did you think to the go-home show before AEW Double or Nothing 2024? Let us know below.